Music and philosophy, though seemingly different realms, have long shared a deep connection. Both are vehicles for self-exploration, a way to question and understand our place in the world. They are, at their core, tools for reflection. Through music, we can experience life in ways that words alone cannot fully express. Philosophy, similarly, offers us frameworks to explore the very essence of existence. In this reflection, we find a fascinating intersection with the music of the Grateful Dead. Their songs, improvised, ever-changing, and filled with layers of meaning, offer a space where philosophy and music intertwine. The Dead's music provides a pathway to a transcendent experience, inviting listeners to question, to reflect, and ultimately to explore the deep currents of thought that flow beneath our everyday lives. The Grateful Dead's music was more than just sound. It was a way of life. Emerging from the counterculture of the 1960s, the Dead embodied a philosophy grounded in freedom, individuality, and a deep sense of community. Their music was an invitation to live authentically, to reject conformity, and to embrace spontaneity. The band's live performances were a direct reflection of this ethos. Each concert was a journey, unplanned, unpredictable, and constantly evolving. The improvisation at the heart of their shows mirrored a philosophical ideal, the search for truth through experience, not doctrine. This sense of fluidity, of embracing the moment, invites us to think about the very nature of existence itself. At the heart of the Dead's music is the idea of existential authenticity, living true to oneself. This mirrors the philosophy of Jean-Paul Sartre, who argued that individuals must define their own essence through actions, free from external definitions. Just as the Grateful Dead rejected the norms of the mainstream, they created something unique in every performance, unshackled by convention. It is a philosophy that encourages living in the present, making each moment significant and meaningful. In the Grateful Dead's music, we can hear echoes of Buddhism and Taoism. These ancient traditions both emphasize the transitory nature of life and the importance of living in harmony with the world as it is. Buddhism teaches us that everything is impermanent, that change is the only constant. This concept of anicca, or impermanence, is deeply embedded in the Grateful Dead's music. Their songs, though structured, are never the same twice. The fluidity and change inherent in their sound reflect the Buddhist idea that life itself is always in flux. Just as we cannot step into the same river twice, so too does their music transform and shift, inviting us to embrace the moment without clinging to the past. Buddhism also encourages mindfulness, being present in each moment. The Grateful Dead's performances, particularly in their improvisation, create an atmosphere of presence. As the music unfolds, listeners are invited to let go of worries, distractions, and expectations, and simply be. This practice of mindfulness is central to many of the Dead's songs, where each note is a part of an unfolding experience, never quite the same as what came before. Taoism, too, plays a key role in understanding the essence of the Grateful Dead's music. Wu Wei, the Taoist concept of effortless action, can be heard in their improvisational jams. The music flows naturally, without force, as if guided by an unseen hand. Taoism teaches that life is most harmonious when we stop struggling against it, instead allowing things to unfold. The Grateful Dead's music embodies this philosophy, moving, changing, and flowing without preordained structure, inviting listeners to follow its currents. In this way, the Dead's music becomes a kind of meditation, a sonic journey that encourages us to experience life more deeply, more openly, and with greater awareness. To explore the philosophy that aligns with the Grateful Dead's commitment to individual freedom and authenticity, we turn to existentialism. Thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, Albert Camus, and Simone de Beauvoir examined the human condition, focusing on freedom, choice, and the quest for meaning in an often absurd and chaotic world. At its core, existentialism teaches that life has no inherent meaning. Meaning is something we must create ourselves. The Grateful Dead's music, in its rejection of convention and structure, mirrors this existentialist ethos. Each note, each performance is an act of creation, a refusal to accept predefined paths or answers. Like the existentialist search for purpose, the Dead's music challenges us to find meaning in the moment, to create our own understanding of the world. Their music also reflects Sartre's notion of bad faith, living inauthentically by conforming to societal expectations. The Dead, on the other hand, embraced their individuality, constantly pushing boundaries and forging new paths. They asked nothing from their audience except presence, and their concerts were a place where personal freedom and collective experience intersected. In a world that often seems absurd, the Grateful Dead's music becomes a form of rebellion, a celebration of human freedom, creativity, and the search for meaning in the face of uncertainty. Like Camus' concept of the absurd, the Dead's music does not provide easy answers. Instead, it invites us to live fully in the face of life's mysteries. While the Grateful Dead celebrated individuality, they also deeply valued community. Their concerts were not just performances, they were shared experiences, collective journeys that united people from all walks of life. There was an understanding that something powerful happened when people came together, not just to listen to music, but to be part of something greater. Philosophers like Immanuel Kant and John Rawls have written about the importance of community in building a just society. Similarly, communitarianism emphasizes the need for individuals to be rooted in a community that shares values and supports one another. The Grateful Dead's fans, the deadheads, formed a community where shared experiences created deep, lasting connections. This sense of belonging allowed individuals to transcend the self and feel part of something larger than themselves. In the philosophy of Ubuntu, an African concept meaning "I am because we are," we find a direct connection to the Dead's community ethos. Ubuntu suggests that individual identity is shaped by relationships and collective responsibility. This philosophy mirrors the spirit of the Grateful Dead's concerts, where each person contributed to the overall energy of the experience. The Grateful Dead's concerts and their culture at large remind us that we are not alone in the world, that our individual identities are shaped by the communities we engage with, and that together we can create something meaningful. The ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus famously said, "You cannot step into the same river twice." This statement highlights the ever-changing nature of reality. Heraclitus believed that everything is in a state of constant flux, and that change itself is the only constant in life. The Grateful Dead's music is a perfect embodiment of this idea. No two performances were alike. Each show was a new experience, built upon the foundations of the past, but always evolving, always shifting. Like the river in Heraclitus's analogy, the music was fluid and ever-changing, inviting listeners to experience the world as it is, constantly moving, constantly transforming. In this sense, the Grateful Dead's music becomes a powerful metaphor for life itself. Just as Heraclitus teaches us to embrace change, the Dead's music encourages us to flow with life, to accept its unpredictability, and to find joy in the journey. In the end, The music of the Grateful Dead invites us to pause, to reflect, and to engage with life on a deeper level. Their songs provide a soundtrack for introspection, a backdrop for contemplating our place in the world and the mysteries of existence. The philosophy of phenomenology, the study of experience, provides us with another view to understand the power of the Dead's music. Music is not just sound, it's a direct experience, something we live through in the moment. By engaging with their music, listeners are invited to step into a new way of experiencing the world, more present, more mindful, and more attuned to the richness of life. The Grateful Dead's music is not about finding definitive answers. Instead, it is an invitation to explore, to ask questions, and to reflect on the nature of existence. It encourages us to embrace the journey, to experience life fully, and to find meaning in the spaces between the notes. As the music softly lingers, we are reminded of the interconnectedness between art, philosophy, and life itself. The Grateful Dead's music, with its improvisation, its constant change, and its deep sense of community, becomes more than just entertainment. It becomes a philosophical practice, a space where we can confront the mysteries of existence, embrace the present, and reflect on the world around us. In the end, it is not about finding all the answers, but about being present in the search. The music of the Grateful Dead invites us to listen, to be, and to reflect on the beauty of life in all its imperfection and wonder. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more philosophy of pop culture.